What up, y'all? It's your boy Martine, aka the Boxing Purist. Welcome once again to the Truth and Absolute channel, where I speak the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me, good God Almighty. Happy Tuesday to y'all. How's everyone doing? How was your weekend? Let's get into this. Now, I'm just going to touch a little bit on Jaime Munguia versus John Ryder. Now, what I want to ultimately talk about, and I'm sure everyone's seen the stories, I'm sure everyone has seen the posts, I'm sure everyone's seen it everywhere, that Canelo's next two opponents are going to be Terrance "Bud" Crawford and Jermall Charlo, brother of Jermall Charlo, who Canelo last fought, last May or whatever, or whenever it was. Anyway, so first let's talk about Munguia Ryder. The fight turned out kind of how I predicted to, right? And of course, the stories behind it, it's a perfect grab. You see, we dislike this kind of stuff, okay? We dislike it. But to the casual fan, you sell it to them real easy. And what I'm talking about is that right now, a big story about Munguia is he was able to stop John Ryder while Canelo wasn't able to stop John Ryder. So a boxing fan knows that styles make fights, right? We know that styles make fights. However you come to fight, however the other guy comes to fight, however your styles clash is going to decide the outcome of the fight ultimately. But of course, it's also a battle of will. We know that Jaime Munguia is a come-forward tractor. That guy is wild. He is big. He is strong. He comes forward. He throws a lot of punches. He got a tiny bit of skill. In my opinion, Jaime Munguia is not too skilled. But nonetheless, he got a little bit there, right? You don't get this far without that. Of course, we could speak about his record and all that. So his performance was good. I'm not taking from it, but it was the outcome that I expected because of how he fights, because of his size, because of his age, and because where John Ryder is in his career currently. Right away, Oscar, Canelo. And why wouldn't Oscar do that? He's a businessman. Of course, you're going to sell it to the casual public as, look what Munguia did, something Canelo wasn't able to do. Let's get it on. Canelo versus Munguia. Big old Mexican fight on a Mexican holiday, and let's just break all kinds of records. I see why Oscar goes that route, right? Anywho, what I wanted to talk about is, I'm sure everyone saw right now, like I said about Canelo's next two possible opponents, not being David Benavidez, but being Terrance "Bud" Crawford and being Jermall Charlo. Now, at this point, I could think of a few reasons why Canelo is not pressing the David Benavidez fight. It would just be opinion on my end. But here's a couple of things I will say about that. And I'm just keeping it real, yo. I'm not taking from no one. I'm just keeping it real, how I see it, how I see other fighters in their career, what we looked at, the level we held them to, and the standards, of course. Now, this is the thing. A fight with Benavidez would please the boxing public, right? I mean, even the casuals, the purists, it would please everybody because it's a talked about fight. It'd be a good clash of styles. It'd be an exciting fight, all of the above, right? But this is the thing about it. David Benavidez doesn't do for Canelo's record what Terrance "Bud" Crawford does. Jermall Charlo, on the other hand, that's a different ballgame. That's a different ballgame. I'm sure that we heard Jermall talking way back when Canelo first signed the PBC deal. Remember, we all thought it was going to be Jermall to fight Canelo, and then it ended up being Jermall. Let's not forget that Jermall said on a few videos or whatever, I got next. So like he knew he was coming next. So maybe it was attracted to Canelo to beat another set of brothers. He beat the Cotto brothers. He beat the Smith brothers. Maybe he's trying to do the same with the Charlo brothers. Legacy-wise, a Jermall Charlo fight, in my personal opinion, doesn't do a lot for Canelo just because he's been so inactive lately. He's skilled. He looked good against Jose Benavidez, but he's been so inactive at this point. What does he really do for Canelo's career? You know what I'm saying? Besides the fact that maybe he already had it lined up and maybe Canelo wants another set of brothers on his record. A fight with Bud, anywho, is like the complete opposite of a fight with Jermall or David Benavidez because Terrance "Bud" Crawford is an amazing boxer. The man is skilled. The man is not a big dude, but he is strong. I've seen videos of Terrance "Bud" Crawford deadlifting 405 pounds. Now, while that may not seem too impressive to some of y'all, being the size that he is, being able to deadlift what he does, you see how strong he is. You see when he would push Spence how strong he is. Terrance "Bud" is just a very strong fighter. of course, he would have to come up, 21 pounds to fight Canelo. We know Bud doesn't walk around no heavier than, I believe it's like 170 to 180. That's his walk around weight. Against a fight like Canelo, though, it does everything for Bud Crawford, in my opinion, but it doesn't do much for Canelo, in my opinion. Because if Canelo wins, and I've said this in video in the past, they're going to say he was just bigger than Bud Crawford. If Bud beats Canelo, they're going to say Canelo was never that good to begin with, right? So it's a lose-lose. Nonetheless, a fight like this, that's a lose-lose, it's a legacy fight for Canelo because of how skilled Bud is, right? Skilled is a super skilled fighter. He's probably pound for pound the best boxer in the sport today. I have Canelo on the top of the pound for pound list as well, but I'm talking about just pure skill, boxing skills. Terrance Bud Crawford to the absolute top. It just has to be that way. So in a fight with David Benavidez, this is the thing, y'all, and I want y'all to think back and I want you to be real with yourselves, please. A fight with David Benavidez, like I said, it's attractive to the casual boxing public and again to everybody, but it doesn't do much for Canelo's legacy either. Let's not forget, although David's been around for years, David blew up when he became the counter to Canelo. When he became the chosen one to beat Canelo, that's when David all of a sudden grew a bigger fan base. That's when he became the guy. That's when he became all these things, when he is mentioned with Canelo. Before that, he was an up-and-coming fighter, no different than any other up-and-coming fighter. His performances to that point, depending on the opposition he was facing, wasn't the absolute best. David is a fast. David could punch. David throws punches in bunches. Skill-wise, inside that ring, David's not on that level where you could say, oh, Canelo beat David. It elevates Canelo. As far as Canelo's career, it doesn't elevate him. It elevates Canelo to certain boxing fans. But even then, the certain boxing fan that has the mentality that David is like the counter to Canelo, the chosen one to dethrone Canelo, even a win against Benavidez wouldn't do it for them. They would say he made David Benavidez wait. They'd say this, and that. Listen, I don't know why he's not fighting him as of right now. If he has 2 fights lined up, that would be the 3 fights for the PBC deal, being Jermall, and Terrance Bud Crawford. Canelo said he doesn't want to retire after that. A lot of us assumed he would after the PBC deal. Who knows what is going on? Who knows what is going on? And I'll be real with you guys. It could also be a tactic on Canelo's end because David is fairly young still, and we know that David is a humongous 168-pounder. We know that it takes a lot. We know that David shouldn't be fighting at 168. He's able to make weight. David is a big dude, probably walks around at 210, 220 plus when he's not in fighting weight or when he's not in training and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the longer the fight takes to make, the harder it gets for David to be able to make 168. Canelo being the A side calls all the shots. He brings the advantages to him, which I'm not saying I like. It's just the sport of boxing. It's just the sport of boxing. That's how it goes. Not that Canelo needs any of those things to beat a David Benavidez, but it helps. And we see, man, when we get little glimpses of the contract, when it comes out, when it comes to rehydration clauses, when it comes to all of those things, what they could weigh on fight night and all of those things, they're little advantages that the A side will take, and it's normal in the sport of boxing. It happens all the time. We just hear about it more now, obviously because of social media. Anywho, let me know what y'all think about Canelo possibly facing Bud and Jermall opposed to David Benavidez. Do you like it? Do you not? Do y'all think that Jaime Munguia earned a shot at Canelo by beating John Ryder? What y'all think of his performance? Drop a comment down below. Like the video or dislike. It's all love. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel already. And now, y'all, follow me on IG, okay, at Truth and Absolute 1986. All right? Follow me on the IG. I put stuff out there. Y'all have a great day, man. Again, drop a comment down below. It's been a minute since I engaged with y'all. Have a good day. Peace.